Hey, Ciara.
Hey, Maya. Oh, okay. Now that I've taken a deep breath, I just ran through the city like I was Carrie Blackshaw. I feel like that term is already coined, but
Did you not make that up?
I didn't make that up. I wish I could have, but someone's Instagram name is Carrie Blackshaw, and I thought it was genius. And ever since then, I was like, wow, I really want to steal this, but she's probably already trademarked it.
That sucks, but I was going to say, but has she trademarked it yet?
I'm gonna look into it, honestly.
It's one thing to have an Instagram handle.
Yeah. I was literally running through the streets of Canal.
Yeah, shocker. Ciara was 15 minutes late.
Lost my shoe on the way.
At least you didn't lose a heel in your shoe.
No,
you know
I looked back. Yeah. I looked back because I was like, if my day is going any worse, I'll be losing the heel.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Shoe.
You got on the subway like this?
I got on the subway.
It is 4:30 p.m. Ciara is dressed not for 4:30 p.m.
No, because guess what? The traffic in Midtown, there was like ambulances at the end of my street, so it wasn't moving. And so when I called the Uber, it was just
So you had
stuck.
to make a quick decision to get on the train.
Yeah, and then 38th goes the other direction. So I was like, okay, I think I have to go to the subway.
Okay, well, I've been getting a lot of DMs about Usher, so I just want to make this very clear really quickly. I understand that Usher's short, and I understand that I'm kind of against short men.
Oh, are you a heightist?
Apparently I'm a heightist because I've been talking about how short kings are not the ones for me, and that's not what I actually said. What I said was, let the short kings have the short queens so the tall kings can have the tall queens. That's all I meant. And or whatever gender.
Let the short kings have the short queens.
That's just in heterosexual relationships. Obviously, I am so pro dating whatever person you want to date. Apply whatever you need, but tall with tall and short with short is all I'm trying to say, just so us taller people can have something. So I think ultimately what I'm here to say is that I would never have sex with Usher.
Oh my God, you heard it here first. First and foremost.
Actually, I don't want to put that on record. Because,
I'm like, well, first of all, that's kind of weird that you would just come out and say that. Because what if you're ever presented the opportunity and it's like...
Well, Usher's, I'm pretty sure, in a relationship. So it's
Is he married?
I don't believe he's married, but I do believe he's with someone that he just had a child with semi-recently. I'm not here to home wreck anything. But I think at the end of the day, I don't think I would do it.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking long and hard about this.
I think about it all the time. Like, if I really had an opportunity with a famous person or someone that I fantasize about, I don't even know who I even fantasize about.
But it wouldn't be Usher at the end of the day, even though he taught me that I was a straight woman. And I appreciate everything he's been. I appreciate his influence in my life. I just don't think it would happen like that. I'm saying this all before I actually go see him in concert. And, in my mind, he's pulling me on stage for this nice and slow lap dance. And therefore, anything could happen then. Maybe they're going to be wait backstage for Usher, in which case, oh no, he's in a relationship. You
just went through that whole thing and he's in a relationship.
Because I'm really...
Also, not to mention,
the herpes.
Oh, I wasn't even going to bring that up. But, Also, come on, he's got multiple, he's just...
I'm not saying I want to marry the guy and settle.
No.
Well, listen, I'm not doing anything with Usher because Usher's not doing anything with me at the end of the day.
You never really know.
I'm pretty sure I'm not his type. I don't even know if I'm anyone's type. Because what would that type be?
What do you mean anyone? Who is anyone? Are you talking about celebrities or are you talking about just regular people?
Anyone.
You're someone's type. There's someone for everyone.
How would that be? Yeah, there's someone for everyone.
Whenever I get dumped or whenever I get ghosted, I'm like, well, there's someone for everyone.
Yeah, but what? I guess there's no way to really qualify. I'm just so amazing that there's no way to qualify me.
No, literally. That's what you have to tell yourself.
I really don't believe that, but okay.
That you're not so amazing?
Well, I'm trying to think what I was trying to see is what categories would I be put in if someone was describing their types? What would that look like? Would they be oh, tall? I'm taller, but I'm not tall.
You're taller.
I'm slim thick. That's very, I feel like my body type is niche.
No. I mean, if you want to be, you are as unique as a unicorn, but
that's for damn sure.
But okay, keep going, I guess. I don't know.
One thing I would not want to be put into the category is well, like, you know, I have this complex where I think I'm darker skinned than I am.
Wait a minute. I also do too.
You think you're darker?
I called myself like dark skin the other day, and this guy was like, "You're not dark skin. You're brown skin." And I was
you
like,
are just brown to me. You're medium complexion.
Yeah. And I was like, "No, I'm dark skin." He's like, "No, you're brown skin." So then we pull up a whole chart of it. This is actually kind of fucked up. And I think my influence on my skin tone has everything to do with me being raised in like Georgia and being surrounded by predominantly white situations. And I've always categorized myself as dark skin, which honestly, it doesn't really matter who gives a fuck, but I'm like, yeah, I'm dark skin. I don't care. Like, amazing. Love it. Love to be darker. I'm sitting out in the sun. I'm tanning, you know.
Yeah.
I'm doing all of that. But I would think of you as like brown skin also, or light skin in the winter.
No, I hate being called light skin.
Why?
I just don't feel like I am.
Okay, do you
think I am, like, obviously I'm not as medium as you, but I don't think I'm that pale.
in the winter time.
I mean, like, yes, I'm aware. I will never get over when our makeup artist said to me, like, "You're really fair today." And I'm like, in what world has a black person been called fair?
Well, you were pale though. Pale. It was dead winter.
I know. I'm not going to do that again. I've learned my lesson. It will be spray tans all winter long now.
Why do you think that you don't like being categorized as a lighter complexion?
It's just because in my mind I'm not that light skinned. So therefore when people call me light skinned, I'm like, you're describing the wrong person. Like my sister, there's a weed store near my apartment, and my sister and I live very close to each other. Yeah. So she actually put me on to this store, and then she was like, yeah, I went to tell him that we are sisters, like the guy that works there. And she was like, and I just was like, yeah, the pretty light skinned girl. And I was like, but I'm not light skinned.
Yeah.
Like, how is he to know about that you're talking about me? Because if you said that, I wouldn't think of me.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Do you feel like, I don't know, but do you feel like it matters? It doesn't even really matter.
No, it doesn't matter. But, well, I mean, also, like, you have to, if we, like, really break this down, obviously colorism is a real thing. Yeah. I grew up in so I went to school at a predominantly white school, very few people of color, I think. Yeah. Up until I went to the same school from kindergarten to 12th grade. So up until, I would say maybe 6th or 7th grade, there were just 2 black girls in the entire, and no black boys even.
Oh, wow.
So 2 black people in the entire class.
Yeah.
And then, so obviously, like, we were the others, but whatever. And then once we got into high school and they started adding a little bit more diversity into our classes, our class sizes grew as well. There was such a divide between, like, light skin and black. I don't even know. It was specifically, like, I found myself being, like, at odds, if you will, with other light-skinned girls. Like, they never fucked with me ever.
Interesting. Because it's like, it's this complex of, which happens like amongst the different color groups, is like, you're too light to be dark, but you're too dark to be light. And it's like, where the fuck do you fall in the spectrum? And same situation. Growing up, there was only, a handful of black kids from K through 12 in the same school system. And then they started busing in kids from the lower socioeconomic level schools into better school systems. And so then we had a
influx of people of color.
A rapid influx of, the diversity. And it kind of was shell shocking a little bit to the kids who had already been there, to the kids of color who had already been there. And then you have the kids from, like, I wouldn't say inner city, but maybe like inner city schools, and their perception of, or their experience just being them versus ours was so different. And I remember they would always tell me I was white. They would tell me I was so dark, like, or they would just call me dark skin. It's kind of funny because I'm like, if anything, they kind of pointed out how black I was. Not that I did not notice, but it wasn't as much of a discussion amongst my, like, white counterparts as it was amongst, like,
black people,
the black, brown,
colored.
Brown kids. I think especially like in the hip hop world and the music world, like, being light skinned is, like, praised upon. You're better than, like, but it
in
really,
society and culture as a whole, like, it's easier. Your life is easier if you are a little fairer complexion.
Right. Like, you're more digestible and people are quicker to be. people are quicker to question what you are without just being like, oh, well, you're not black. Like, you have to be like mixed or something. And it's even, I still even sometimes get that. And I'm like, why can't I just be black?
For me,
like, my parents are both black. I'm not mixed with anything. And that's all relatively speaking. Like, my mom's black, dad's black. Do we want to do a whole genealogy report?
I mean, we were all slaves at one point, so therefore we were sprinkled in with some white somewhere.
Right. Like, we're all kind of mutts in America. Yeah. Like, no one's a purebred of any sort.
Yeah.
So anyone who even thinks that they are, it's just like so unrealistic.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I've done the 23andMe thing. So I think my dad's from the Caribbean. We talked about that last episode. Like, not obviously, but he's black.
Yeah.
And then like with my mom, I always felt like growing up, it wasn't very clear necessarily.
Yeah.
Like I grew up knowing I was black,
right.
But I could look at my mom, look at her hair texture, look at her skin complexion, and know that like her black and my black were different.
Right.
But I feel like even to this day, and maybe it's that my mom doesn't really know what she is, but like it feels like there's some disconnect as to like what my mom really is, because when you break it down, I mean, and my mom has said since like I can remember that black is a state of mind, which I thought was ridiculous growing up. But she was like, I literally grew up being treated in society like a black person.
Right.
I got spit on. I got called the N-word. All of the stuff growing up in the 60s, like I experienced my life as a black person. Now, technically, I think my mom is just maybe Native American.
Right.
Probably, obviously, some white mix in there.
Right.
But like, it doesn't really seem like at the fundamental base that my mom has. Well, we know that her slave lineage is from Cameroon, so obviously like that's Africa.
Right.
So yeah, she's got something, but it's like far, far away.
Right.
And so I did do my 23andMe, and I was like 35% white. Fine, but when
like a European.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when I sat down with my parents and I was like, who's going to claim this?
No
one, it was silence.
Like not me, not me.
They were both like, that's like, I remember my dad was like, well, that's your mom. And my mom was like, that's definitely your father. And I'm like, but which one, like, what is it?
What's the reality of it? But also I feel like, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a matter of where did it come from? With mine, I'm like 24% Eastern European. And because I came out like 23% when I did my 23andMe, my mom immediately did hers because she just had to know. Mm-hmm. And it came from my dad, but we kind of knew that because my grandfather is, like, both of his parents were mixed.
Okay.
So, and like, it's kind of funny because technically my dad would probably run closer in the 40s, higher 40 percentage rate of being
and
like
he
Eastern
didn't take
European.
The test.
No, didn't take the test. But if I'm almost 25% of fourth, then it's like he's obviously somewhere at a half.
Like, yeah.
And you would never even think or anything. But I mean, he's darker than me. My parents are both darker complected. My mom is always, she can kind of be, it's like brown skin versus dark skin. Who the fuck really knows? But my dad's siblings, it really kind of got split in half. Like, I have an aunt who is as light as she can be, looks just like my grandfather because he was super light, and then the rest of the kids are kind of darker. So it's always interesting kind of how, who gets what, who comes out darker, the variations and whatnot. But
yeah, I mean, especially like looking at my sister, I assume that she has pretty much like the same genetic breakdown as I do. I would guess. I mean, I've always said she's adopted, but like, who knows?
Same parents.
That's what they tell us.
She's adopted?
I mean, you know, I'm an older sibling. Yeah. Of course I told her that. I've told her that her entire life.
Wow.
But she is, I think I would say she's like around your skin complexion.
Yeah.
Maybe I actually haven't seen her in so long.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what skin color my sister is, but I feel like maybe a little bit darker, if anything. Mm-hmm. You have like a little bit more like high yellow in you, whereas she's like a little bit more like
red undertones.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
I also find it very interesting when you realize just how in the makeup spectrum where you fall, picking out makeup is so fucking hard. So, especially when you have like parts of your face that have yellow undertones and other parts have red, and then you have to match the face to the neck to the chest and trying to find exactly, or maybe you have neutral undertones.
Yep.
And picking out makeup That's why, okay, so one thing I really stress on, which is like such a first world problem to have, but it's like makeup artists who call themselves makeup artists and they like are not inclusive to everyone, or hairstylists who are not inclusive to everyone. I'm like, how do you guys call yourselves makeup artists? How do you call yourself makeup artists, hairstylists if you can't even do a whole section of people, or you can only really cater to fair-skinned, olive-toned people?
How many times have you been in like a glam situation where, especially the hair person, first off, like makeup artists will tell you they could do anything, and then they'll make you look dusty as fuck.
Yeah,
but then
because they want the job,
right? But then like with hair, I cannot tell you how many times I've just been handed the tools that they have.
Oh my God.
Why don't you do it yourself? First off, I am not that type of girl, okay? Like I am not that, like, I'm not going to put
hair
myself
savvy.
I'm not hair, like I don't care to like know how to beat my face to the gods.
Right.
I don't care to like really know. I care, but I don't care.
Yeah, like you're just not, you aren't a glam girl. Like
I'm really
you're just
not
into makeup and into hair and teaching yourself and trying to like, you know, whatever, perfect that area. But I can say, since I've been modeling since I was like 15 years old, I cannot count how many times I've been in a situation where makeup artists don't have my skin complexion, don't know how to match me. I look ashy on camera.
It's always ashy.
It's always ash. It's very gray. It doesn't match, or it's just like too red, and so I look so discolored.
Yeah.
And it's honestly embarrassing.
Yeah, and then you end up having to like carry your own tools, your own equipment, wherever it is, because you know that these people are going to fuck up your face or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then it's like, why are these people getting a paycheck?
Right.
When
I'm doing the glam, I've had to like fix everything and do it myself. Like, okay, if there's a hair and makeup budget, then I think it should go to me, because I've had to come prepared with everything that I need and more. And even like you said, like getting handed tools, I think it's like the most insulting thing where, okay, the client hired this person, this hair and makeup artist, quote unquote, but they don't even know how to do black hair, knowing that they have black talent coming in.
Yeah.
Where there's such a disconnect. But also, I don't think people realize either, it's like when you're going to cosmetology school and whatever hair and makeup school is, learning textured hair and is not a part of the curriculum. And it's almost like it's almost like an add-on or an extra, which obviously is so indicative of the beauty industry, period. Yeah, because Black women of color are always an afterthought in everything and never on the forefront of you know, the development of products. And so we always fall to the wayside when it comes to having the proper products or having enough shades to even cover the different variations in skin color that we have and the different variations in curl patterns that we have.
I was just going to say, can you imagine if we wore our natural hair, what we would experience? Because
like,
that's a whole realm that we can't even really speak to, because neither of us are like natural like that. But my God, that must be chaotic.
Yeah.
Because if you can't figure out how to curl my weave, like
what? Like if I'm walking in and I've got, you know, my 4B, 4C hair just washed and blow dried, or just washed
alone,
just
washed
washed alone,
detangled, like cared for, hydrated, whatever. Are you gonna make my curl pattern pop, or are you gonna make me look crazy? And I've seen a lot of that on Instagram and TikTok, like me walking in, or like models walking into a fashion week or whatever, a runway show, and getting like completely ruined basically, and then they're supposed to go represent a brand and act confident and you know, sell something essentially.
I get chills just like thinking about it, because it's so forgotten almost, but like not for the Black models or the women or the models of color. And that there was a model, her name is Leonie, and she did a TikTok during Fashion Week of like, one, people burning her fucking hair out, not knowing what to do, doing her, like having gray makeup, like just it looking absolutely ridiculous. And Fashion Week is a crazy time, and a lot of times they hire like people who aren't super qualified, so you kind of like get what you're handed. But even still, you know, and these are big brands, whether it be like Dior, Chanel, like, you know, large household names, where they're still not inclusively thinking about the people that they're hiring for the talent. And yeah, how the hell are you supposed to walk out on a runway and feel amazing and confident and showcase this product when you feel like you look dusty as hell?
I mean, I've done it. I've been in that situation where you just kind of have to suck it up, because it's also like, the other thing is like there's always a time limit in these things. Like you always have a place to be, or like you're not getting glam to walk out on the street and enjoy your life. So you have to pick and choose. I feel like I've silenced myself so many times in that situation because it's easier. And then also it's like, you want to continue whatever relationship, like this is still work. You want to be able to come back, and you don't want to seem high maintenance or like
be deemed
difficult. Too much or difficult, which is also something that Black women in general are already accused of. Right.
So, and it's like, you're hard to work with, but I'm like, really, honestly, all I'm searching for here is equity.
Well, really, the brands are hard to work with for you not thinking about that.
Yeah, absolutely. All that's required for you is to make this an equal opportunity workplace. And so with equality comes, like, it shouldn't be, and I had to point this out to one of my employers also. It was like, okay, well, this person, when we're doing glam on set for a modeling job, I'm coming with all my hair tools, hot tools, curling iron, flat iron, hot comb, everything. Also products, edge control, gels, different things. I'm also coming with all of my foundations and all of my shades. And it was just kind of funny because one of the other girls walks in. It's like early morning. She walks in with literally nothing. And I walk in with an entire bag of products and just stuff, because I'm like, well, I'm not going to be caught off guard if this just goes awry and, you know, this person actually doesn't know how to do black hair or doesn't know how to do match black skin to the products that he has. Like, I'm not going to take that risk. And so it's just funny. I had to explain it and be like, they were like, oh, well, we can offer you this, A, B, and C. I was like, but are you making this like an equal workplace? Because this is not equal.
No. And I feel like from my personal experience, we end up paying more money out of pocket to like basically to counteract whatever is already existing. Like, we have to do our own thing outside of the system that's already created, so that we can feel confident and feel our best, which is, to me, just like complete bullshit.
It's bullshit, and it's backwards. Not to mention the amount of money that women of color and black women pour into the beauty industry for us to be an afterthought in most product development is so fucking insulting, because we do a lot more of the consuming than, you know, any other demographic.
I didn't realize that, I guess.
So you would think they would make broader shades. They would make more. Yeah, they do make all of these products now. And I think, well, people will say, well, oh, like Fenty's so inclusive. And yes. And Fenty was like a great line that came about where Rihanna really accounted for all of the undertones and the neutral skin tones. And she took all of that feedback and made a remarkable product. But also, I was like, but also what a shame that it's, you know, 2020, 2016, 20 whatever, and we're just now doing this.
And I mean, we are speaking as people that are still like lighter in the like spectrum.
Right. Yeah.
So we're not even imagine from another person's perspective that's like significantly as deeper, rich, beautiful skin, like what their experience is.
Right. Yeah. And it's still, there are some brands that just still aren't even doing it because it's almost like cheaper. And I try not to just like X a brand just because they're not inclusive. And it's like, yeah, slowly with the proper development, they will get there. But if you notice, like skin tints, like white women have been using skin tints, BBs.
What is a skin tint?
Like a BB or a CC cream.
Okay.
Like not a complete foundation, but like a sunscreen, like a moisturizer, tinted moisturizer. Absolutely.
Okay.
And I have never, ever, I don't even consider them part of like my makeup routine or would buy them because they never ever include tones that are deep enough for women of color at all. Not even my shade.
That, yeah.
Like and honestly, even like the Ilias, and which their skin tinted moisturizer was like going viral on TikTok, but I was like, they don't even have enough of the darker shades to even encompass, you know, I feel like just a handful of women of color, which is weird to me.
Yeah, I actually really haven't been wearing like anything like foundation or full cover, like anything for my skin recently because I've been like annoyed by it.
Yeah. You also have amazing skin, but.
Thank you. It doesn't feel amazing right now, but like I just feel like the more and more I've been like exposed to makeup, especially in the last few years, like the less I want to wear it.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I don't actually look like myself anymore. Like this doesn't, like, this is great for like a full coverage moment, but like it's not, I'm leaving the house like manipulating my appearance so much to the point where it's like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Did you ever play, did you play with makeup in high school or anything, or in middle school?
I think it's interesting because like when we talk, obviously like you're so into makeup and that kind of thing, so it's like the contrast between the two of us seems to be bigger. But like if you ask my family or like my friends growing up, like I was very into that stuff.
Oh really?
But like my interest level is just so little compared to yours. It doesn't really like seem like it's something that I was into. But yeah, I wore makeup to school every day. I would wear makeup to like work every day. I wear less and less makeup the older I'm getting though.
Same. Yeah. Well, maybe not today.
I mean, I have like eyebrows on and under eye stuff, but I always have like under eye is not a joke
brows
for me.
Don't count.
See, I think that brows count.
Brows do not count. I will not be seen dead or alive without my eyebrows. She goes and works
out with her brows on, and I'm always like, but why?
I'm going to the store with my brows. I'm going to pick up shit with my brows.
We have gone to Face Gym, and your brows came off at Face Gym, and we had to stop at like a convenience store or whatever, like a drugstore, to get Ciara another brow pen so that she could keep her brows on while we continued on with our day.
I sure did. Yeah. You would think I would just get them microbladed at this point, but I always have a brow pencil with me somewhere. I buy like 10 of them at a time. I'm addicted.
Yeah.
I just love brows.
I mean, I used to like do the brow tint thing and all of that. I used to do all of that. I don't fucking care anymore.
Yeah, I don't even do all that. I really just have a brow pencil with me at all times. But okay, so, and I was the type that I was very interested in makeup from a young age. I mean, my grandma used to say that I came out of the womb wearing lipstick and heels because I was always just very just girly, trying to frolic in makeup. Like I wanted to play. And then as I got older, I started teaching myself, like middle school, high school, I was very into the makeup scene. Okay, middle school, my mom did have to hide the eyeliner from me because I was in that like grungy makeup phase where it was like seen. Oh my God. My mom she banned me from wearing eyeliner at all. It was tragic. I remember my friend was having to sneak me her eyeliner at school. Then I'd have to wipe it off.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't allowed to wear that stuff. I wasn't even allowed to have like color on my nails. I could do like a clear or like a really like bare pink, but like I wasn't allowed to do that. Yeah. And then even now, like my mom does have a lot of makeup products, but she almost looks like she's never wearing makeup. If you ask me, she spends an hour every morning doing it, and I'm like, she comes out, and I'm like, you went in looking the same way you came out. Like,
well, that's that like no makeup. But
like in her mind, I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. So I feel like her approach was always like bare minimum type of thing, and therefore I wasn't I just wasn't allowed to like try crazy things. Yeah. And so I guess now, like I got my nails done yesterday, and I was like thinking like, oh, maybe I'll do like a color, because right after like I was allowed to start wearing color, I was like wearing color on my nails like every time, like something crazy, something bright. I used to always have blue nails.
Oh my gosh.
And I could not bring myself to pick anything but white yesterday. And I'm like, I've become that like
neutral Betty. Yeah. Neutral Nancy. Yeah.
I'm so that person.
I was the same way though. I went from wearing so much makeup, especially like coming out of high school, and then somehow, some way I kind of dialed it back into like, and I was wearing like a full face every single day. And now it's like, okay, if I'm going to go out or go meet friends or something, it's daytime. Like I'm just going to do like a light veil and then some mascara, no eyeliner, and a brow, and just keep it really simple. I also used to have long ass acrylic nails.
No, I never did that.
I used to paint them whatever color, and now I can really only paint them funny bunny and like ballet slipper. But it's like you develop taste the older you get. Like you become more refined.
I wonder if it's taste or if I'm just like bored. I feel like I'm just like kind of becoming this weird creature or habit that's like, it's not cute. Like I need some spontaneity, but you know, that means if I'm saying it now, something crazy is about to happen.
Dude, every time Mya says like she needs to do something crazy, I don't hear from her for a few days, and then literally she has a weekend and she goes nuts, and I'm like,
I do have 2 dates this weekend and 1 date next week, so I feel like something weird could happen.
Something weird. I have a date tonight. That's why I'm fucking dressed like this. And
are you excited for your date?
I don't know. I'm indifferent. I'm like, just trying to put myself out there and be open to an experience.
Can you imagine someone hearing that you're like indifferent? The person that knows that is having this date with you knows that you're just indifferent?
They would never listen to this.
But what if? Can you imagine?
No shame. I'll tell him, like, when I sit down, like, hey, I'm feeling indifferent.
When he asked you, were you like, yay? Or were you just
I was like yeah, like, okay. He's like, what are you doing Thursday? I was like, I don't know. And then he asked me, and honestly, I'm at the stage where I'm not forcing anything. I'll see where it goes. I'm excited to go. Like, oh yeah, I can get a drink, but nothing.
What are you going to drink?
Fuck, I forgot my Crystal Light. I can always stop and get one before.
A vodka tonic?
I do like the vodka tonics. You know that? How'd you know? Yeah.
I do think I know you.
Yeah. Yeah, I love a vodka tonic. It's just chill.
I can't wait for this little recap after this date.
Of the date?
Yeah.
I'm having him send a car here.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Y'all think that I'm fucking joking?
Okay, no, you do you. Okay, I have a few things that I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you noticed this, but they just released, or I don't know if it's available to the public yet, but an over-the-counter birth control.
Oh my God, yes. I actually just read that before I walked in.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Okay, over-the-counter birth control.
Yeah.
So this means you don't need a prescription. You can walk into any pharmacy. It's on the shelf, and you can buy it.
So that means that you could literally buy it monthly. I wonder, just like from a like supply and demand mindset, if they're going to be able to keep up with that.
Right.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about like a child?
I don't know, because I do like the idea of birth control being regulated and you having to go to your OBGYN, and that's kind of like the way of having a safety fence or a safety gate. Safety gate.
Net.
What?
Safety net, I think is what
safety
the
net.
word,
that's what
or like that's the phrase, I think.
Yeah. English is not my first
language. Speaking of pronunciations real quick.
Okay.
Multiple people in my DMs who are from the Boston area say chafing.
Okay.
So, sorry, Dad. I just want to like clear that up.
Oh, because you thought it was his fault.
I did.
Chafing.
So I'm just saying, like, I'm not crazy.
Like you're smart.
I'm not. Right. I'm not saying all that. I'm just telling you.
Okay, well, I just had never heard of it being called chafing. Perhaps I'm inexperienced.
I doubt it's you, but I just like the validation was from people specifically from the Boston area. And they were like, maybe it's like an Irish thing. But either way, I'm not alone.
Okay.
And to all of you that say chafing, I see you.
Pronunciation is such a weird thing. Who am I?
You ain't nobody for that.
Who am I to call anyone out on pronunciation? Who am I to talk? At least I know. I also know when things do sound crazier. Sometimes I really can't hear it. But okay, whatever.
Anyway, birth control, yes.
But I kind of like the idea of there being a safety net and you having to go to the doctor to get birth control, because I mean, look, typically girls are going on this at very young ages. So that's like 14, 15. And
yeah, I feel like I got on the pill around 9 or 10.
9?
I wasn't
10?
having sex or anything, but I had horrible periods.
Right.
I got my period at 9.
That's wild.
And I have always notoriously had really, really bad periods. So that's why I went on the pill very early.
Okay. Yeah. See, I'm trying to
I've actually not been off some level of birth control for 20 years.
Yeah. That's wild to me. So how long will, these people be on birth control without it being monitored or without, you checking in? You do need to be taking your annual visits and getting pap smears and making sure you're checking in at, those different ages. I think it's great in terms of access. The accessibility is amazing because there are a lot of people who can't afford to go to the OBGYN.
I was just going to wonder what the price tag is though for this over-the-counter medication. Like, is it actually going to be accessible?
Right.
Or is it going to be like, because I mean, I don't know if you can abuse birth control, but like, the way that you can abuse cough syrup and it's now behind the counter and you have to show your ID.
Yeah.
I almost feel like at least that checkpoint could exist with birth control, but I don't know if I feel that way just because it's never been accessible in my life. And so like, this is an adjustment.
Right. It's an interesting development because in terms of accessibility, it is amazing. It's great. I think that it makes it easier for people who can't afford to take those or can't afford to go to the doctor and have that copay, or if they have no insurance at all, it takes that middleman out of it. But also, are we missing some health safety checks? Are we losing health safety checks when we can just buy it kind of over the counter?
Like, is there going to be a minimum age? Is there going to be like
what stipulations? Do people understand how to use it?
Only one at a time.
Right. Do people understand how to use it? Because you also are missing out on the education that comes with the birth control when you're being prescribed that birth control.
That's true. So you could think you're protected and then you're not.
Right. And it's more than just like reading the back of the box.
Correct. I also wonder if it's going to be a like whatever they roll out with first would be hormonal.
I would assume so.
Which that in itself feels scary.
Yeah, is the pill all? I feel like the pill is all hormones.
I thought there were some that were not.
A non-hormonal pill?
Yeah.
Honestly, great question. I have no idea. I only know of like IUDs being non-hormonal.
I don't even. Is the Mirena non?
The copper is non-hormonal.
Okay, so Mirena has hormones. I just wonder what I would be like if I didn't have my birth control.
Right. But this also goes in hand with like abortion and everything. And yeah, we can create more pills and everything, but you know, will all states carry this over-the-counter birth control?
Yeah, I wonder in like more conservative towns, even maybe not even states, but like what's going to be?
Is it going to be state or federally regulated?
Right.
And
how
most
are they
likely
going to determine that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was like a interesting new development.
Yeah.
In this healthcare world.
Ugh, healthcare. I don't know, because then I see it like being kids going on birth control and then not telling their parents, or their parents not knowing, and then
well, like, you know, I do think if you're a kid and like you are sexually active and you're like wanting to protect yourself,
right,
that regardless of if your parents say yay or nay, that you should be able to protect yourself.
Yes and no, because I think, well, if you're working with the same naiveness I was working with, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to education, because yeah, you can protect yourself against having a baby perhaps, but are you protecting yourself against STDs and other sexually transmitted diseases and other things that come with sex?
Probably not.
You know, and I think that is also an opportunity that you get when you are visiting the OBGYN, you're going to the doctor. Especially the check-ins at a younger age.
Because I don't remember like having those real talks at the doctor.
Did you ever have like the birds and the bees talk with your parents?
Not that I can remember. But I also feel like my parents could look at me and be like, she's not going to be an issue. Like,
oh my God, that is awful.
But I feel like they were like, she's a very responsible, and also like I've had anxiety, like outwardly presenting anxiety from such a young age. I feel like they were like, she ain't gonna do anything crazy, one, but also like no dude's fucking her.
Yeah, your parents were saying that.
I feel like that's what their bedtime chatter was, if I were to guess.
Whereas, oh my God, them up late at night, they're like, well, Maya's not fucking, so we're good on that.
I feel like that's probably what they thought.
Dude,
which is true. They're not wrong.
When did you lose your virginity?
In college.
Oh, okay.
I was I think it was my freshman year. I think I was 19. So I was late.
That's not late. I think like right on time whenever.
A lot of people had. I was like one of the last of my friends.
Right.
I think I was like the last.
Yeah.
Of like all friend groups that I existed in at the time. I'm pretty sure I was the last, because I still remember like it happened, and then like people would come by my dorm room and like play that song that they used to play on SNL, like I just had sex. It was embarrassing.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like such a celebration, if you will, because I was like the last one.
That's kind of crazy. I hate that. It's like it's that age group where you are doing it because all your friends are doing it. I lost mine at like 16. But look, I think, first of all, it was way too fucking early. But I asked that because, well, about your parents like having the birds and bees talk, because honestly, my mom never had a sit down with me, but it was a perpetual conversation.
Do you know if she had it with your sister?
I have no idea. I don't think so. My mom is not very like, sit down, let's have a talk. It's very much like she's educating you along the way.
That's how
and
my
she
parents
keeps
are.
it so fucking real.
Yeah.
And she never, like, nothing had nicknames. We called it what it was. this is how you get pregnant. There was never a stork, like, ever. And I bet
no, we didn't do any.
There was never
either.
a stork or some story tell. She was very upfront, and she was like, "You already know how you have babies," and I would be like, "Well, how come you never had this?" She was like, "Because I've been talking about it forever." And she was like, "And if this is what's gonna happen if you get pregnant, this is what's not gonna happen if you get pregnant. Mm-hmm. Like, all of the options, abortion, or what it looks like being 16 and pregnant, and but also
thank
like
God
STDs.
That show came out when it did, because
dude, thank God.
Not that I was in any rush. Obviously,
right.
Like I just said, I was like late. I feel like I'm still late to like the game, but in like the game of life, you know.
You're taking your time.
I do, but I take my time. Like I take a lot of time.
I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, Lord forbid you take a lot of time to think about something as opposed to being like impulsive and just going into it.
Yeah.
Look, you can go either way, you know, because great things happen when you are super impulsive. You don't have time to think about it. And, you know, great things also happen when you do take your time. So
I'll be impulsive this week. Thanks for letting me know that it's okay.
Yeah, I can't wait to check in on this. But when people were like far much more advanced, and like I was doing it with only one person, but it wasn't even consecutively. Like, it was very sporadically. Like, it wasn't on the regular. Was
he your boyfriend?
Yeah, but like no, and he went to a different school. It was really weird. And then there was a complete hiatus, like after
the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I actually felt like I wasn't old enough to be doing this. I had like weird feelings about it anyway. I was like,
So why'd you do it?
Because oh my God, literally, I wanted this guy to like me. Yeah. I thought that's what everyone else was doing. I should be doing it. You're hearing stories about kids losing their virginity.
Yeah.
And I mean, at that age, you're in high school. You think that high school is the end all be all.
No, I mean, I get it. If I like fell into that peer pressure, like I can just like think in my head of like who could be the potential to like me give my virginity to, whatever the fuck that is. But like, oh God, it would be awful.
Yeah. And then I had like religious guilt, I would say, because, you know, I was kind of, and this isn't even by my parents. It was like just kind of going to church, like, oh, you're supposed to give your virginity to your husband, or you're supposed to like.
Yeah, I mean, there is a really strong
love.
Emphasis on like who you lose your virginity to, and it's like there's so much weight put on it when you're growing up, whereas like as the older you get, sex I feel like becomes more and more casual.
Perhaps, but I don't think that, like, for me, I don't feel like that's ever kind of left my.
It hasn't for me either.
Yeah.
I didn't have the religious guilt thing. I just like, I don't know. I think, you're raised to like basically save it or like hold it to yourself, or you only do until it with like someone. You give someone, like it has to be someone that's worthy type of thing.
And so special. You should love them. Like they create a whole persona of who you should give your virginity to. And it's like, well, okay, well, where are they? 1, 2, what if I never find that person? But also it's obviously unrealistic, and it also just puts a lot of pressure on you. And not that your virginity is not sacred, because I do think it is something that is very sacred. And, you know, I think you should, you know, enter into it with someone responsibly. But
I don't know if I think that.
Really?
Yeah,
and I'm also speaking from, like I said, my own religious guilt.
Yeah.
And just the idea that, you know, it should be shared with someone. See, and that's how much of it's still so ingrained in me.
Well, I think that I would apply what you're saying to my own personal life, but I don't know if it's actually how I believe it should be.
If you had a child, is that how you would present that to them? Or how do you think that you would present their virginity to them?
I would hope that I had a kid that like trusted themselves enough to know that like you just like trust in yourself to make the right decisions at the right time type of thing. So I don't think I would be like, I would just be like, you know, sex is essentially for adults.
Right.
And you have to understand all the repercussions that come with having it.
Right.
And if you have a full sense of all the what ifs that could occur post sex, and you're like still willing
to do that,
then I feel like that's kind of how I would enter that conversation.
I feel like that's a good approach, because like, well, sex is confusing. It's so fucking confusing.
And the way it's like, we're not even talking about how it's depicted in the media or like
right, yeah,
movies, film, whatever.
And I'm envisioning like, you know, high school age, and high school being such like a pivotal point in people's life where you just think that this is
well, you do think it's it.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
I mean, it's the same way like I'm like so pro-choice and very much about abortion, but I don't think if I was ever pregnant and I didn't want the baby that I would abort it.
Right.
And that's not a decision I'd put on anyone else or like influence anyone else. I think that there are so many factors, and it's like everyone has the right to live their life the way they want to type of thing.
Right.
But I just don't think I would do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, who's to say?
Who's to say? It's like when you never know till crunch time.
Right.
Until you're in that situation.
Like, and who knows, I could be a rape victim, God forbid, and like get pregnant from my rapist, which would be truly horrific.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, now that I'm saying it out loud, I still probably wouldn't get rid of that child. I don't think.
Interesting. See, I would. See,
I totally get why you would.
Yeah. I'm like pro-choice to the day I die. It's like one of those things where I might not agree with everything. Look, and you know, the abortion laws in America have obviously been a topic of discussion, and in terms of like late term abortion and versus early term, and I'm really hell bent on the fact that like a woman should be able to make whatever decision that she needs to for her life.
No matter the timeline of the
no matter the timeline of it. But that doesn't mean I necessarily agree with everything or I think it's all right. It's very hard to say like what's right or wrong because one, I don't have a child yet, but also two, it's my body, and how do you tell someone that they should be going through with something that that they don't want or they're just unsure about. And
if you think about the people that are making these like high level decisions, like they will actually never be in the position. They've never been in the position. They never will be in the position. Right. Most of them have penises. Yeah. And like who are they? Yeah. To dictate like how the greater good of America, like America's greater good when it comes to pregnancy.
Right. And then it's like, oh, like you're pro-life, but okay, so are we doing the things after this life gets here to actually, you know, make sure we're taking care of the child in terms of like, you know, government support, foster care, meal systems? Like, are we actually supporting the life once it's here in terms of like bettering schools? All these other different resources that we need to pour into taking care of this life. It's more than just about, I think, the fetus in the pro-life, pro-choice debate. But look here, I'm here for anyone making whatever decision that they need to make, because I mean, I can't imagine being in a position where I only have one choice to make and someone's made it for me.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I don't fuck with that. Yeah. That's where I draw the line.
All right. Let's switch base to.
Well, okay. So, you know, last week we were talking about lingerie. Mm-hmm. And so I started talking to some straight single males to get their perspective on this. And it pretty much ran the gamut. Like.
You what?
It ran the gamut. Okay. Their responses ran the gamut. So but one that stuck with me was someone was like, if you put on a number basically, and if you're looking good, that number you deserve to be fucked in it.
Spoken like a true man. Spoken like a true man. Okay.
Like, if you look so good, why would I take it off? Why can't we just find a way to do the do
in the number? Okay.
And I think that's how I feel too.
I'm trying to think and rack my brain if I thought it was going to go down any other way. Like, I thought that's why I was putting it on.
See, you know? I think what I mentioned last week was, like, it gets ripped off so quickly. Like, you just spent this money, it's gone, da-da-da-da. And so, what? Da-da-da-da. So, I feel like I did get that response too. Well, if you look so good, of course I'm going to rip it off.
Yeah, but also I think that's the underwear, period. And in my head, I'm envisioning like a set situation.
Yeah, well, so I'm like partial to teddies, and that's
okay.
Like, hence the 20 minutes in the bathroom trying to button the bodysuit of the teddy at your vagina region. That's yeah. So I feel like in that case, I guess you could just open up the snaps,
slide to the side.
But I don't know if men, the way that they can't really even take off a bra strap, like who's to say that they're going to be able to figure that out
I feel like they also just enjoy the sensation of ripping. Like, just to be like, oh,
like, look at me, I'm so macho.
Like, I'm like, so masculine. Like, they enjoy ripping when it's like, oh, did you get my hair? Like, are you ripping do you actually have the garment? And are you okay now that you've gotten past like the ripping phase?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So if that's what they're into, if that's the sensation they want, then the lingerie that I'm wearing for you is from Amazon. So,
and I think you just need to get the ones with the hole in it already, or like an assless situation.
Oh, really? An assless? So they have access to your ass?
No, well, look, there's very little coverage under. I need to get the way that you're looking at
me. Because all I'm envisioning is anal sex.
No. It's like assless, where it's like not even. It's not like a little hole for your butthole. It's just like your entire ass.
But what about the vagina?
That is pretty much they're next door neighbors.
Well, assless and assholeless are different things.
Assless.
So the entire ass is out.
Yeah.
Including
what did you say? The assholeness?
Well, I said you said you were talking about how they're very close to each other. So I was like assless and asshole. Like
honestly, no topic is off limits here. Okay.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, at this point, let's keep going.
Yeah. I do want to tell you about this story about my friend who's dating this guy, and
I need to just side note.
You should be posting this on our Instagram so people know what type of lingerie you're talking about, because Lord knows I have no clue.
I'm also gonna gift you a pair, so just send me the new address, because I'm gonna give you some assless underwear.
Oh, I can't wait. It's for me, myself, and I to enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, well, you never know, girl. Save it for a rainy day.
Yeah, rainy day alone. It is what it is. I'm okay.
There'll be someone.
It's fine. It's better that way.
You have more sex than I could ever imagine.
Why would you say that, first off? That's not even true.
That is true.
What? I think if you run the spectrum, I'm on the very low end of people that are sexually active.
Yeah, we're both on the very low end, but I'm lower on the end than you are.
This is gonna ruin me.
What?
That's just not a reputation that I want to hold.
Oh, no, not that you're... I'm not... No. I'm not saying that you're out here fucking at all. I'm not saying that. Like, you're not. We're neck and neck.
Okay.
But your neck is a little bit longer than mine.
Jesus Lord. I can't. That's just truly horrific. It's awful. It's awful, Mom. It's not even true. She's lying. She's mad at me. She's mad at me. We got into a fight before this, and she's fucking mad.
She's lying. We did not get into a fight.
No, that's what happened, Mom. That is not who you raised.
Okay, well, call me. Also, I was checking my mail the other day. I got a really cute Christmas card from your parents. It was so sweet.
How did you just get that?
I just checked my mail. It was, yeah. So I put
what did it say?
It was like happy. Did it say Merry Christmas? Yeah, it was cute, and then it was signed to
my mom,
Cyril and
Ramona.
Yeah, and and then she goes in parentheses Maya's parents. It was so cute. But I was like, wow, shame that I'm just now seeing some Christmas cards.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
It's wild. I need to actually send out thank yous, because there's quite a few.
You got quite a few Christmas cards?
It was like 3 or 4 Christmas cards.
Wow, I think I got one, and it was for my mom. Shada used to send me Christmas cards. I thought that was really cute. I was like, what an accomplished adult she is. She stopped doing that.
I'm going to do Christmas cards this year, I think.
Would you do it of Jasper?
Mm-hmm. That's literally...
See, I wonder if people even care enough.
It's not about if they care. It's about, do you care?
I think the list of people I would send Christmas cards to would be so...
Well, that's the thing. The less you buy, the cheaper it is.
That's true.
I mean, I'll buy like 20.
I mean, I grew up with my mom going to Home Goods like after the holidays.
Ooh, I love Home Goods.
To buy Christmas cards so she could get them on sales to
and
use
then
them the next year.
Out?
Use them the next year.
Oh, that's smart.
Or she'd wait till after Christmas because then all cards are still on sale, and she'll just get the ones to say Happy New Year because they're cheaper, and then send them out for the new year.
Yeah, I think that's smart.
It's so interesting that our generation doesn't really do that.
I want to bring that back. I like cards. I like what? I don't know. I like cards and I like letters. That's what I was trying to say. I like letters and people with good penmanship.
I feel like the only time I get a letter is when I'm dating a man who did something wrong.
Yeah.
Like for a handwritten letter, that's when it's like, girl, I fucked up.
Yeah. I want you back.
Yeah, exactly. So therefore, I don't think I like letters. I've never gotten a happy letter. I can say that.
I like little notes. Like when people leave me little notes around the house.
I feel like that's the modern day. Like, I love when you send a meme to show me you're thinking about me.
That is really okay. The meme is modern day. The meme is modern day. I like little notes, little sticky notes. Nothing that says like, "I'm sorry, I can't. Don't hate me." But
God,
nothing like that.
That's Burger, right?
Yeah. Fuck Burger.
I mean, at least he was honest. He could have just ghosted her, which is what most guys do these days.
Yeah.
Okay, I do want to tell you quickly about my date that I have this next week that I'm excited about because I like the way this man went about it.
Okay.
And I need your opinion about a different guy that's asked me on our date.
Okay.
Let's start with actually the latter first.
Okay.
So this guy who I matched with on an app, zero conversation beforehand, invites me to Six Flags for our first date because he's going. Are you
fucking kidding me?
I knew you'd have a reaction.
No, I'm having a reaction because I was literally Googling Six Flags tickets last night.
Oh, I love Six Flags.
I've never been to.
What?
It's in Jersey, right?
Wait,
I've been to. We have one in Georgia, Six Flags over Georgia. I've been to that.
Jersey is Great Adventure. Six Flags Great.
And I just learned that that's different.
Adventure?
They also have a safari, which it doesn't make sense for zebras to be in the middle of Jersey. But
I did not know that. But when I lived in DC, Kwame and I used to drive to Six Flags in Jersey to have a day there. It was so fun.
Crazy.
We would have the best time.
Yeah,
and we'd
dude.
Stop at Cracker Barrel.
Wow.
That would be like our Sunday.
But you can get like a VIP pass for like $160.
Correct, and you can skip the line and all of that.
Skip the line.
I actually didn't know that you were into that because I just started yesterday a group chat of people that want to go to Six Flags and we're going to rent a bus and all of that.
Oh wow!
So,
wait, do you go to Fright Fest?
I do.
Girl.
I actually usually go every year.
Okay, noted.
So he was like, let's skip the small talk. Basically, I'm going to Six Flags on Sunday with a bunch of friends, and I would love for you to be my date.
Oh my God.
Do I go?
Yeah.
You think so?
First of all, you love Six Flags.
Second that's the only reason I'm actually thinking about it.
He's paying for the ticket to Six Flags.
Well, so here's the thing.
Is he paying for a fast pass line?
Here's the thing. We haven't had any conversation. I don't know anything about this man. So
no, I think that's great.
Yes, but that's a long date, one. And I want to know, like, how do you think that we're getting to Six Flags? Like, I need some logistics before I can commit. How many friends are going to be there? Yeah. How are we getting there? Are you driving me? Do we have to be in an Uber together for like a
Bitch,
hour?
Did you not ask this?
No, I haven't asked anything.
When did he ask you? First of all, these are all the follow-up questions.
So, but I didn't follow up because I was like trying to be like, yay,
cute
and flirty and
so
free.
Did you say yes or no?
I haven't said either. Okay. So let me just pull this up so I can give you so I can accurately represent what's happening in this situation.
Okay.
Also, I unmatched this guy that said he likes Pepsi better than Coke. I was like, never talk to me again. Okay, so his first message, we matched on Sunday. He wrote to me on Monday, and he said, going to Six Flags on Sunday and would love for you to be my date. I said, that sounds like so much fun. Are you trying to introduce me to your friends already? One step at a time. Insert name here. And then he goes, let's skip the small talk and pretend we've passed every test for each other that we're now ready for a Six Flags date.
Yeah.
You just say go.
Go. I say go.
Okay.
Like what? You guys get to know each other over turkey. Do you have turkey legs at Six Flags?
No, I would never eat a turkey leg at Six Flags. I'm really go for like the popcorn.
Six Flags, you call it.
Six Flags. I would really go for. I'm like more of a popcorn type of girl.
Okay, well, yeah, like get to know each other over the hot dog and popcorn.
What if he hates roller coasters?
He is not going to Six Flags to hate roller coasters. That would be silly.
I'm shocked that you think I should go.
Do you like roller coasters?
I love them.
Okay, go. I think you should go because one, I think it's different. I appreciate a date that's different and non-conventional.
But so I have to not only get along with you, but also your friends?
No. Fuck his friends. you have an Uber app. Like, if you want to get the fuck out of there,
figure out how far away it is, so that I know that I have an exit plan. But okay, so the other thing I was worried about is like, well, what if he's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna drive. So we get in his car and he starts driving, and like, I don't know how to get to Six Flags, so I'm just like trusting the process of whatever GPS.
So then
he takes me to a field and kills me.
Okay, don't spiral.
Well, I've thought about that.
Okay, so I think you take public transportation and or you Uber yourself, or you go with his group of friends. I don't actually.
Yeah, because it's an hour and a half drive.
Oof.
That's a long drive for someone that you don't know a single thing about. Like, we haven't even had a conversation enough. Maybe I should be like, let's FaceTime to talk about the details or something so that I can know he's real.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, FaceTime.
2,
this is on Sunday.
This would be on Sunday.
I think y'all should like maybe meet up or something like a Friday, just casual, get a drink.
Yeah, but
and
the thing
then
is, I have a date on Saturday and I have plans on Friday, so I can't. I don't have time.
Okay,
for
so
him.
FaceTime it is.
It would have to be a FaceTime.
Yeah.
But he like confirmed that he wanted to go with me. I haven't responded in like a day, so like who knows? Who's to say he hasn't found another girl?
Follow up. You're going.
Wow. Okay.
So now you have 3 dates this weekend.
Well, 2 dates this weekend. I have one on Wednesday.
2.5.
2.5. 2 this weekend.
Yeah.
Is what it would be.
Okay. Done. Settled.
Wow.
Maya's going to Six Flags, y'all. So if you see her there on Sunday.
And if you see me there, say hi that like, oh, they won't hear this by
blink
then.
Twice. Tell her to blink twice if she needs help.
Exactly. Like, someone see me, love me, give me the attention I need if I need it at that time, because I'll probably be looking real awkward.
No, I think like that's like the perfect place to not be awkward. Okay, what's the other date?
The other date is this guy that I matched with that I really liked his energy. We also haven't talked a lot, but you know I'm not a small talker, so I don't mind that. But he wrote to me, he responded to like one of my prompts when I was like, I'm trying to travel more international, and he was like, we're out, and I asked him where to first, and he goes, somewhere we both haven't been, but let's get drinks and dinner to figure it out. And I said, I'd like that. So he goes, perfect. And this is where I said, green flag, green flag, green flag. I have a busy work week this week and gatherings, but I'm very available next week. I'll pick a time and a place for us and let you know the details. I'll send you plans tonight.
He said that?
Yes.
He said that.
Correct.
You going out with this man
Oh,
too.
no, it's done. It's on site. So I said, love this energy. And he wrote back that same night and he was like, hi, dinner reservations are here next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Let me know if that works. He sent me a Google map like thing.
What the fuck? Did he send you an Uber voucher?
That's the only other thing I would need. So
damn,
I was like,
that is great. You didn't do any. I love that for you.
I love this energy.
See? That's great.
I hope that we actually have fun. We do have a few, like I did a little deep dive on Instagram. He actually follows you.
I'm going to get this man's name after this.
And I was like, do I like that or do I not like that? He follows a few people that we know.
Okay.
But
I mean, we can always ask him about it.
I get strong fuckboy vibes, not gonna lie. But also it's like, if you're gonna take the time to
do all of that, then I'll just have to see for real. Like, I gotta see for myself. If you're a fuck boy, like fuck my intuition.
Exactly. I showed his profile to Shada. She was like 100% fuck boy, and I was like, okay, well, we'll see.
Like, we'll see. Like, we're gonna go. Like,
the restaurant he picked is like someone from Top Chef. It has really great reviews. Like, it's known to be good. It's Italian. So I'm like,
he's done this before, or I
almost think he's so good at it. Like, he's probably such a serial dater that he knows exactly what to say and do, and he's gonna like play the cards really right in the date. It's gonna be flirty and cute and whatever, and then yeah, we'll see.
Well, we're not gonna count him out just yet, but we'll obviously check in next week.
Yeah, and he's 6'3", so he's absolutely a fuckboy.
For sure, a fuckboy. 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 Yes. Literally boy. B-O-I. Yeah.
But I'll report back next week and let you know.
Okay. I'm excited for you. Can't wait to hear about Six Flags either. Okay, I'm excited because next week we have a bunch of fucking updates.
Okay, we'll see you guys next week.
See y'all next week.